challenger makes his way to ringside. He loves to get in the face of the fans. That man right there could walk out of CZW with our World Heavyweight Championship. And it is a party for Blackout when you're talking about Robbie Marino and a Ruckus. It'll be real interesting to see how Robbie Marino reacts when he lays his eyes on Super Dragon for the first time since Super Dragon curb stomped Robbie Marino and almost put him out of the business. Ruckus, the World Heavyweight Champion. What a moment this is for him to be involved in a World Championship matchup at the Cage of Death. It should be pointed out, and I hate to be the one that brings this up, that Ruckus has never won at the Cage of Death. He is 0-4, which includes losing the tag team titles last year, which includes losing 2 junior heavyweight championships. He is 0-4 overall at the Cage of Death. The Cage of Death is Ruckus' Achilles heel. Does he get too excited? Does he lose focus? Is it a mental thing? It's got to be a mental thing at this point. And look at the reaction for the World Heavyweight Champion.
Ladies and gentlemen, this contest is for the CZW World Heavyweight Championship. The official, Bryce Lensberg. Introducing first, he is the challenger, hailing from Orange County, California, and weighing tonight at 200 pounds. This is Super Dragon!
You can feel the intensity. You need a chainsaw to cut it.
And his opponent, introducing first, the manager. He is the Frank Sinatra of marijuana, Robbie Marino.
Robbie getting a couple of boos for the first time in a while.
He hails from Chocolate City at a street value of $31 million. It is he who smoked the weed, aka Jack Green. This is the CZW World Heavyweight Champion, Ruckus.
The champ is in the house.
Yo, Mike Check, what the fuck is the deal, Southfield? Yo, this team is back. I know you can get a little bit louder than that. What the fuck is the deal, Southfield? I feel like Christmas came a little bit early. Number one, your boy Super Faggot doesn't get fucked up. And number two, I just had sex with a black woman. Thank you.
That makes one of us. Welcome to the club. And that's what it's all about, the World Heavyweight Championship on the line. When you talk about the lineage of the World Heavyweight Championship in terms of Cage of Deaths, the World Championship has changed hands before, but not since the Cage of Death 4, where the Messiah pick Justice Pain has a World Heavyweight Championship in Combat Zone Wrestling changed hands at a Cage of Death. Cage of Death 2 saw Justice Pain win his first ever CZW World Heavyweight Championship, defeating Lobo as part of that series of matches involving Zandig, Lobo, and Justice Pain. But not since Cage of Death 4 has a World Heavyweight Championship changed hands. Super Dragon shocked the fans when he appeared as a hired gun of Chris Hero. Ruckus has had enough. Ruckus has had such an impressive 2005. Ruckus, without question, has to be the wrestler of 2005 here in Combat Zone Wrestling. The list of victories for that man in there include the Messiah, Sanjay Dutt, B-Boy, Sexy Eddie, El Generico, and Nick Gage, all in 1 year. That is quite a list right there. Will Super Dragon be added to that list? Super Dragon, 3-2 overall in 2005 in singles competition. Super Dragon's record at Cage of Death, not so stellar, 50-50. I'm sorry, just lost to one match. He was supposed to be here at the Cage of Death 4. I've told this story before. And he did not follow through with that commitment. And Super Dragon, when I asked him earlier in the evening for some comments about the matchup, was quick to inform me that he has 2 new cats. One named Joe, named after a character from Arrested Development, and Crazy Ice Killer from Curb Your Enthusiasm. That's how serious he's taken this matchup. Look at the fans on their feet. Side headlock by Super Dragon. Super Dragon extremely capable of unseating Ruckus as World Heavyweight Champion. Shoot into the rope. Ruckus down. Ruckus up. Ruckus, that head scissor takeover. Big kick. Super Dragon. You gotta watch out for that psycho driver out of the masked psychopath. Never in CZW have we had a masked World Heavyweight Champion. Quite a few champions I'm sure we wish would have put masks on, but never have we had a masked World Heavyweight Champion. I talked earlier tonight with Pennsylvania State Athletic Representative Frank Talent and asked him if Super Dragon had to unmask if he won the championship, similar to the Midnight Rider when he won the NWA World Heavyweight Championship from Ric Flair back 20-something years ago in St. Petersburg, Florida. And Frank Talent said there are no laws on the book that would require Super Dragon to unmask if he becomes World Heavyweight Champion. Standing switch with a challenger from Orange County who made his debut at Best of the Best 2002. Had one of my favorite matches in the history of the company with B-Boy in the second round of that tournament. Those two, I believe, defeated Nick Burke in the opening round of that tournament. Super Dragon on the defense right now. The World Heavyweight Champion looks extremely confident. Ruckus last year was in the actual Cage of Death matchup, defending the CZW World Tag Team Championship. Of course, I have to bring it up again. Ruckus 0-4. The Cage of Deaths. Dragon, of course, delivered 2 curb stops to Robbie Marino, taking him out for quite some time, taking him out, putting a neck brace around Robbie's neck. I was told by CZW promoters after Super Dragon backed out of the Cage of Death 4 that he would never be in CZW again. And the fact that he is wrestling in the World Heavyweight Championship is quite astonishing in itself. I was always a fan, and at one time a friend that would go to the CZW promoters here and ask for a second chance for Dragon to be back in the company, and they would always say no. Ruckus, the shiznit! The champ is feeling it. Super Dragon was a win over fellow Blackout brethren Eddie Kingston just a few months ago. Couple of shots, Robbie Marino barking out orders, giving advice. Super Dragon so hard to wrestle because with the way that he has his mask with no eyes, his eyes being covered, his mouth being covered, you really have no idea what kind of emotions are going through Super Dragon. You have no idea if he's hurt, if he's playing possum. Ruckus setting up the handspring, the moonsault into the knees. Super Dragon with a clothesline. Talk about impact. Ruckus did a flip on the floor. And we don't have mats. Oh, wait a minute. Super Dragon just slapped Robbie Marino. And Marino is out cold. Marino went down with one punch. Dragon now putting Marino. Oh, no. Not again. He can't do it. Come on, Dragon. A curb stomp on the ramp. He has no mercy for Blackout. Leave him alone. And look the way he's stalking Robbie Marino like a maniac, like a psychopath. Bryce Ravensburg pleading to CZW officials to send out EMTs, send out somebody to help Robbie Marino. He needs to be helped to the back. He has been disabilitated right now. Ruckus fighting back. I'm not sure if Ruckus has any idea of what happened. Super Dragon now has Ruckus on that guardrail. Maven Bentley at ringside. It's a serious, serious situation at this point in time. Super Dragon with a couple of chops, forearm smash, and again. Super Dragon with a chair, right to the back of Ruckus. Super Dragon now has Ruckus. Rolls Ruckus over, goes to the cover. Not enough. Super Dragon now slapping Ruckus. Ruckus slapping Super Dragon back. Big kick. Knee drop. Super Dragon likes to get the fans behind him and play mind games with them. Chop, poke to the eye. Super Dragon now with a leg scissor. A leg scissor on Ruckus. Ruckus has absorbed a lot of punishment. I have to say, and I've already ran down the list of challengers that have challenged the World Heavyweight Champion for the title this year and lost, that Ruckus has not absorbed this much punishment. Ruckus has not been on this much defense against anybody thus far this year. This has to be alarming. Super Dragon in the World Heavyweight Championship matchup at the Cage of Death. So huge. He made it to the river, but can he swim? Ruckus with the razzle dazzle. The razzle. Oh, wait a minute. And he drops him. The belly to back suplex. Hooks the leg. I mean, could you imagine Super Dragon as the representative of Combat Zone Wrestling, our World Heavyweight Champion? Just the thought makes me shiver. Super Dragon may be setting up Ruckus for a curb stop. Similar to Robbie Marino. This isn't the manager, though. This is the World Heavyweight Champion. Curb stop. It's getting ugly in there. It's getting real ugly in there. Super Dragon spreading the legs. Decides to go for a cover instead. He wasted way too much time there. Way too much time. Super Dragon questioning Bryce Remsburg. Super Dragon, we've seen him do this many times. As painful as this is also embarrassing when Dragon starts to kick you right in the face, separating the shoulders at this point. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Super Dragon and Excalibur making a big splash in the tag team division when they had a world tag team title shot, and former champions Team Cash and Blackout were so aggravated with what happened at the Cage of Death. Blackout interfered and cost them the matchup. So this rivalry does go back. It predates Dragon's association with one Chris Hero. The fans behind the World Heavyweight Champion. What a transformation Ruckus has made over the last year. Ruckus slapping the challenger. You're not going to bully around Ruckus. Rink in the eyes of the World Heavyweight Champion. Ruckus hits the ropes. Ruckus, that afterburner into a heel kick. Ruckus is going to nail the razzle dazzle. Hits the ropes. The famouser. Ruckus in the best shape of his career right now. Ruckus driving the shoulder into the breadbasket of Super Dragon. Ruckus with a super kick. Down goes Dragon. Dragon goes, wait a minute, Ruckus goes for the cover. Ruckus pulls Super Dragon into the center of the ring. Ruckus going up. Maybe going for a leap of faith here. Ruckus eats a boot. Ruckus, I got to point this out now, and I think it's only fair. Ruckus severely under the weather. Ruckus coming into this matchup with the flu and a fever. We talked earlier tonight, I've been battling bronchitis all week. Ruckus not 100%. Ruckus may have hit his head hard on the back of that platform. Super Dragon going for the Psycho Driver. Ruckus, his balance is just off. Double stop. And Stardust press. Standing Stardust. Not enough for the World Heavyweight Champion. Super Dragon, who has only really had a handful of prime singles matches here in CZW, predominantly wrestled in tag team matches or four-way, three-way matches. But it doesn't get any bigger than this. Ruckus having a hard time getting to his feet. Ruckus with a slam. Ruckus is going to try and go up top once again. Shaking it off. Oh, what a slap! Ruckus takes a tumble. He's in bad shape right now. Double stomp. Ruckus, I don't know if it's from the flu or I don't know if it's from Ruckus hitting his head. You can see when he hit his head, his eyes just rolled right in the back of his head. Double stomp. Drops. He's going for the Psycho Driver. Ruckus trying to hold on. Psycho Driver! I can't believe it! I can't believe it! Super Dragon has done the unthinkable! Only the third time in CZW history that the World Heavyweight Championship has changed hands at a Cage of Death. And Super Dragon has done it. Is this the end of Blackout? Is this the dawn of a new era? Now look at these two goofs coming out to celebrate with their hired gun. I can't believe it. I gotta think Ruckus at 100% would have been more formidable opponent than what we saw tonight. But Super Dragon is the CZW World Heavyweight Champion. He is number 23 in the record books, only the 23rd CZW World Heavyweight Champion. Pop the cork, because we got a brand new champion. It's been a long time since we've seen somebody come out in a stretcher here.